of Saudi Arabia. We would first like to thank the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, His Royal Highness the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and His Excellency, Chairman of the General Entertainment Authority, Jia, Turkey, Al-Sheikh. This great event is being brought to you by Riyadh Season and the General Entertainment Authority, Jia, with Frank Warren for Queensberry Promotions, Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing, Bob Arum for Top Rank Incorporated, Gold Star Promotions, Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions, Boxer, World of Boxing, Warriors Boxing, and Sella. Along with their great sponsors: Saudi Tourism Authority, Saudi National Bank, STC, Dr. Suleiman El Habib Medical Group, Saudi Airlines, New Murabba Development Company, Tauniya, Hunger Station, Lucid Motors, and Al Tanfidi. A big thanks to those great sponsors. It will be shown worldwide and in the UK on DAZN, and also in the UK on TNT Sports Box Office and Sky Sports Box Office. And now, boxing fans, let's get the workouts started. Our first two fighters competing this Saturday in a scheduled 6-round super featherweight contest. First, we will welcome undefeated with 2 victories. He hails from right here, Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Let's welcome mighty Mohammed Alakel.
Well, here comes mighty Mohammed Alakel, one of the new flag bearers for Saudi boxing. He's a cool character, doesn't say an awful lot, but the feeling from the Joe Gallagher camp, from that gym, is that he's a very talented young man.
That's the vibe, that's the word we get. And he's engaging too. He's got some personality about him. Joe was telling us about him before his professional debut, how he travelled over to the UK to do a degree, so he's used to being away from home. He lives in Manchester, trains at Champs Camp, has been around a few different destinations with Joe Gallagher, learning off some really good fighters. Obviously, he was around Roberto Duran the other week.
Don't get an awful lot better than that.
No, it really doesn't. And you can see here from what he's doing in the ring, he's not going to do an awful lot. And I think this will be fairly typical of what we'll get, because largely I think to do with the conditions. It's not really that warm, so as I said before, the opportunity to loosen up and get the sweat flowing freely just isn't really there.
Tell you what, he's had quite the start to his professional career in terms of the events that he has boxed on. He made his debut on the undercard of the first fight of Beterbiev Bivol 1. His second fight was on the undercard of Fury Usyk 2. His third fight is on the undercard of Beterbiev Bivol 2. That's not a bad way to start your career, Andy.
It's amazing, really, when you think about it, and I'm sure he's very appreciative of it. It does bring a lot of eyeballs, it brings some scrutiny, but it brings some great experience of just rubbing shoulders with fighters like that throughout the course of the week. You're in the same hotel as a lot of them. You see them every day, basically, and you get an idea of how they go about things. And it's not just in the public moments. You'll see them in unguarded moments. You'll just see how they conduct themselves, how they're taking care of themselves, how often you'll see them drink out of a bottle of water, all that kind of stuff. You just get a really behind-the-scenes, fly-on-the-wall look at how someone like Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol, for example, how they take care of themselves and make sure that they get through these few days, giving us what we need, giving the promotion and the event what it needs, whilst giving as little energy as they possibly can to all of that.
Absolutely that. You can see under the watchful eye there of Joe Gallagher. Of course, all of boxing is behind him in his current fight. Very sad news that came out recently, but good to see Joe out here. Seems in good spirits and always backing his man like he does, like for so many over the years. Backs his trainer, whoever he's training, whoever he's managing. You'd want Joe in your corner.
100%. He's absolutely dedicated to the sport and to his fighters, and he always has been.
Well, Mohammed, a couple of days away from your big fight. How are you feeling going into this?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. All the hard work is done, and I'm just looking forward to putting on a show for my fans.
Joe, you're here training Mohammed. I know you just recently revealed your cancer diagnosis. A lot of people certainly concerned about your welfare. How are you feeling?
Yeah, good as gold. Life goes on as normal. I'm really looking forward to Mo's fight now. His third fight on the big stage. Huge thanks to Turk, Spencer, James, everyone at Gold Star Promotions for getting him on it. And I really do feel we have a talent and possibly Saudi's first world champion in another 8-10 fights.
So you've seen a lot of good fighters. What do you like about this young man?
His dedication, his application, he's willing to learn. We've had Roberto Duran in the gym for the last 2 weeks, giving him advice, and Mo's been like a sponge. He's absolutely soaked it all in, and how can you not with a pound-for-pound legend like Roberto Duran? So Team Duran are here. They'll be with us in the gym tomorrow, and we look forward to another good performance Saturday night.
Mohammed, that's a lot of good minds you've got in the gym around you. What have you learned from Joe and from Roberto Duran?
Yeah, I've learned a lot, good experience, and yeah, I'm very happy and thankful.
Good luck on Saturday. And Joe, we're all certainly rooting for you.
Yeah, no problem. Life goes on, and we'll just make the best of what it is. Thank you very much.
You got it.
Cheers, thank you.
Yeah, great to see Joe Gallagher there in the corner backing his man, as he has with so many, and not just men, women as well, of course. Natasha Jonas in the corner in the camp. And he's a calm dude, Mohammed Alakel. Looks like he's got a wise old head on those young shoulders, just 20 years old. Fight number 3 for him on Saturday night, part of this star-studded, incredible show, The Last Crescendo.
And now let's welcome to the ring a native of Chinandega, Nicaragua, and now fighting out of Bratislava, Slovakia. He is a veteran of 53 professional bouts. Let's welcome Engel El Cohete Gomez.
Well, here comes Engel El Cohete Gomez, and look at the surroundings. We're at the fountain here in Boulevard City in Riyadh. Incredible, and Engel Gomez, he's feeling himself. He's making his way to the ring on that purple carpet. And Johnny Nelson, it's been nothing but good vibes tonight, and Engel Gomez is thoroughly enjoying himself.
He has enjoyed himself, and again, everybody's going to come on this stage to try and make an impression. I think today what we're going to see from almost all fighters, including Gomez, they'll do as little as possible, just do their obligations in regards to getting out to do a public workout, little stretch. All the hard work's being done in the middle of the night down at the Tyson gym. So right now, this is probably the last chance we get to see them in the ring until Saturday night. So you won't really read much from what we see today.
Well, with Engel Gomez in particular, because he's very much an away fighter, I wonder, Andy, if he's ever done a public workout before in his life.
That's a good point, actually. He may well not have, because he won't have been part of a week like this where you're required to turn up probably last Saturday, because they were all doing an event on Sunday night, and then everything gets underway in earnest on the Monday. So he's not going to have any kind of nerves, I wouldn't have thought, and he'll just enjoy this and take it for what it is, as something that may not happen to him again. But if he boxes well, then you just don't know, do you? You don't know. He gets the call regularly from the UK for big shows, for decent fighters, because we know what he brings. Yeah. He's capable. He's a capable guy.
Very much so. He's taken on a bit of a who's who of young British prospects, making their way through Billy Boom Boom Adams, Royston Barney Smith, how well he's doing at the moment, Jermaine Jluayo, who is Derek Chisora's nephew. So Engel Gomez, very much a man who gets the call. Probably wasn't expecting to see his name up in lights like this, though. This is quite incredible for young Engel.
Unbelievable, and he's lapping it up. He's in the ring there. He's doing his shadow boxing, which I don't feel like that's majorly a part of preparation, but I think him just soaking up the atmosphere and really enjoying himself. Great to see.
Yeah, I feel like this is something that Riyadh season has brought to the table. Really, it's not something you see often in the UK, where the away fighters, especially quite far down the card, will be treated with so much kind of lavished with these kind of big lights, bright lights, interviews. I think Chris Mannix is about to interview him as well. This doesn't normally happen. Let's hear from Engel Gomez.
Engel, welcome to Riyadh. Big opportunity for you here on this fight card. How are you feeling going into this fight?
Bienvenidos a Riyadh. Es una muy grande oportunidad para usted. ¿Cómo te siento antes de la...
Pues bueno, estoy agradecido por la promotora que me dio la oportunidad de estar aquí y mientras tanto venimos preparados para hacerlo mejor, dar una buena combate.
It's good to be here. He's been training hard, he's ready for this, and he's looking forward to the fight on Saturday.
You were undefeated through your first 8 fights, have not been able to get a win since. How anxious are you to get that win on your resume?
Los primeros combates usted ganó muchos los primeros y después no ha ganado muchas peleas. Ahora, ¿cómo te siento para ganar un más grande combate?
Pues bueno, en este momento me he dado la oportunidad de entrenar bien para venir a dar un buen espectáculo acá y que gane el mejor.
He wants to be the best. He's been training hard to get a big opportunity and show his best.
Good luck, Engel.
Thank you.
Shout out to Louis Fentner, part of the Queensberry team, works in Frank Warren's office.
Our next fighter competing this Saturday in a scheduled 6-round welterweight contest. He is undefeated with 6 wins, 1 draw, 1 win, coming by way of knockout. He hails from right here, Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Let's welcome Ziyad Almaayouf.
Well, never fear, because Zizo is here. And look, he's been talking about how he feels like he's a superhero when he fights here in Riyadh. He brings that Saudi flag to the ring with him. I've referred to him this week as a flag bearer. Today, he is literally that, Andy.
He absolutely loves it. He loves it. He loves the responsibility. He loves the eyeballs that are on him. And he loves to fight as well. He's got this habit of turning fights that I think are supposed to be not necessarily straightforward, a bit of a test, but one that he's supposed to come through incident-free, of turning them into raging straighteners. That's basically what he does, and it's great for us. I think Buddy McGirt, I said it yesterday, will be kind of hoping that maybe on Saturday it won't be quite that eventful, that he'll use the jab, that it'll stay nice and compact, and he'll just get the job done, take care of business and take as little as possible. But I wouldn't put my house on it, because if he doesn't start that well and the other guy gets a little bit of a sniff, then he'll set his feet and we'll get what we've got from him before.
That's kind of what we like to see, though, isn't it? I know, his trainer probably wouldn't particularly enjoy that, but for the viewer, I'm a bit of a fan of that.
Oh, great for us. He's not a difficult man to draw into a war. But like you say, from a fan's perspective, happy days.
And there's that superhero pose from Ziyad Almaayouf. I'll tell you, that will be some photo.
And what's great about him too is that we'll hear him with Chris in a second, with Chris Mannix. Chris Mannix could wander over to him and just hold out the microphone. He doesn't even need to ask him anything, and he'll just give you a seamless couple of minutes about how he's going to be the king of the boxing world.
100%. Let's hear from him.
Well, Zizo, I know you were disappointed with the draw last time out. What have you been working on during this last camp?
Was disappointed. Now I know that this is what I needed, what I wanted, but we only learn later on, and that's what I love about this journey. I am the first ever Saudi pro fighter. I'm going to have bumps on the road, and I love being the first, and I want to be the first world champion, and I want to do so many firsts, but what's more important is to be the first of many. I want to show the younger generations coming after me that when you have these small bumps on the road, you just keep going. Persistence beats talent, persistence beats even hard work. But I learned a lot from my last fight, regardless of the decision, and that's the mentality I'm going into this fight as well. Head movement, defense, but all that will not work if I'm not calm and composed. As long as I am calm, composed, and I am not a victim to the pressure, I'm a superhero because of the pressure. and that's what I want to feel. I did a long training camp in Liverpool. I feel like it's blown back the spirits into me and the confidence, and I can't wait to fight. I love this journey. The day I get used to it is the day that I've failed myself.
You're an easy interview, Zizo. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Chris.
I've got to say, some of the things he says, it's quite inspirational. It feels like you could just sort of write it down and make an Instagram meme out of it and get a load of likes. Big fan of Zizo.
It's impossible not to be. His story's really interesting too.
Our next two fighters competing this Saturday in a scheduled 12-round contest. It will be for the WBO Interim Light Heavyweight Championship of the World. Let's first welcome the challenger from Liverpool, England. He brings a professional record consisting of 30 wins, 2 defeats, 22 of those 30 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the former Ring Magazine champion and former WBA super middleweight champion of the world, Callum Mundo Smith.
Well, he has the credentials, he has the talent, he has the experience, and he has the ambition to become a two-weight world champion very, very soon. The WBO Interim Light Heavyweight Championship on the line on Saturday as Callum Smith takes on Joshua Buatsi in an incredible fight.
So did you hear that ring announcement? Did you hear that resume? So that makes people understand how serious, how big this task is, how big this fight is. At this stage, it's on 4:45 on Sky when we come on. We'd warm up with a 6th round with something like that, but we got Smith v Buatsi at that time on a Saturday night. This is the whole filler no matter what. This is the top of the bill card. And this kid, you look at his knockout reel. The next one to his knockout reel is got to be Deontay Wilder. His knockout reel is mad. So this fight happening now, people need to be paying attention. Get around your TVs early. Be prepared to sit down, get your popcorn. Saturday night, what a way to start it off.
Absolutely, he's done so much in his career. Former Ring Magazine super middleweight champion, won that Muhammad Ali trophy as well. Just in the Beterbiev fight, there's a feeling that maybe he wasn't quite at his best, but of course, against Beterbiev, that would have been a difficult task, even if he was at his best.
Yeah, absolutely. Beterbiev a beast, but hearing afterwards, and fair play to Callum, he never made excuses or anything. It was only well after the fight that it came out that preparations weren't ideal. And if he still has the fire burning, and he says he does, you know, this is a proper fight.
No, it absolutely is that. Taking on Joshua Buatsi on Saturday night, the unbeaten Joshua Buatsi. And we'll be hearing from Callum Smith very, very shortly as he just strikes a pose for the cameras. He's put a fair bit of pressure on himself in this one. Let's hear from Mundo.
Well, Callum, just days away from your return to the ring against Joshua Buatsi. You know, you contemplated retirement for a couple of days after the Artur Beterbiev fight. What made you make the decision to keep pushing forward?
I just realised I hadn't fully achieved what I believe I'm capable of, and there was rumours this fight was going to happen, and it was the fight that motivated me. I always said it was a motivational thing. If there was something that made me want to get back in the gym and made me want to make the sacrifices, then I'll do it. And this fight was offered, and it's a fight I like, and it gives me a great opportunity to get back to where I want to be.
What made, you said you learned a lot from that fight against Artur Beterbiev. What are some of the things you took away from it that you think make you a better fighter?
It just highlights areas what you need to improve, and you know, losing definitely does that more so than winning. It's easy to paper over cracks when you're still winning and think you're doing everything correct, whereas losing, say, magnifies those areas, and if you don't go away and work on those, then it's, you know, it's pointless being in this sport. You've always got to evolve as a fighter and always got to aim to improve, and you know, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I'm constantly always trying to improve and better my game, and hopefully we'll see some of those improvements this weekend.
Good luck, Callum.
Thank you very much.
Well, great to hear from Callum Smith. Delighted to be joined by an unbeaten light heavyweight, Mr. Ezra the Cannon Taylor. How are you?
I'm good. It's sucking in the atmosphere as always, but I'm good to be here, man.
Make sure you take it in. We're going to get your thoughts on Joshua Buatsi and the Callum Smith fight very shortly. Let's head back to Thomas Tribe.
Undefeated as a professional with 19 wins, 13 of his 19 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the reigning and defending WBO interim light heavyweight champion of the world, Joshua Buatsi.
Well, this is a bit of a tune to come out to, Andy. He's got me moving. Ezra, I can see the head's bopping along a little bit as well. He is just business. Olympic bronze medalist Joshua Buatsi. And Ezra, let me get your thoughts. You know, this is your division. It's a brilliant fight. I think it starts the show on Saturday, which points to how incredible this show is. But what are your thoughts on Callum Smith Buatsi?
I think it's a great fight, man. I think it's a bit of a 60-40 fight, the 60 being to Buatsi. And I say that based on the momentum he's had. I think he's been a bit more active. Callum Smith, I think he's coming to the end of his saga, no disrespect intended. And I feel like Buatsi's just got a bit more to win. I think it's a points win as well.
Have you moved about with either of the guys?
You know what, I haven't. I was meant to with Buatsi. I actually reached out to him when he was in the amateurs to go spar with him. Buatsi, nice guy, respectful as well, but never got around to it. But you know, hey, you never know where paths go and how they collide, you know what I'm saying?
You just never know. And just for those who aren't, if you don't know, you should know. 10-0 now, unbeaten in your career, Ezra. How's things going your end?
It's going very well. It's going very well. I got a fight on the 10th of March, then I got a homecoming 10th of May. Big up Leewood. I'll be co-main event. I've got a few eyes on who I want to fight for the title and etc. But you know, right now I'm just going at my own pace.
There's a lot at stake here, isn't there? Because you mentioned there that Buatsi's career could have moved a little bit quicker. He doesn't like to hear that, but it is actually true. If he wins on Saturday, then you could say actually it's been paced really well. But if he loses, then it's quite a long way to fall. If Callum loses, then it's not impossible that he could call it a day.
100%, 100%. I feel like it's one of those ones where it's make or break for both of them.
Well, let's hear from JB. I'm sure he's just business.
Well, Joshua, you're a pretty even-keeled guy, but do you start to get a little more excited as we get closer and closer to the fight?
It is. I think every fighter feels the same way. Yeah, man, we're a few days away.
Had an open workout here, but you've been working with Vergil Hunter as part of your training regimen. What has he brought to your game?
A lot, man. As always, we can always stand up here and say so much, but it's better to demonstrate. So Saturday's a good opportunity. You had to make a sacrifice to go to the U.S. to train with Vergil. Why was it important to you to make that sacrifice? It's important. It pays off in here. The time away alone, it builds me. So when I get in the ring, I know I've paid the price. We've seen Callum in with some great fighters over the years, Canelo Alvarez, Artur, Beterbiev. Can you learn anything from those fights about what it's going to take to beat him? I'm myself and my own fighter, so when I show up on Saturday, then you have something to talk about. Good luck, Joshua. Thank you.
Well, that is Joshua Buatsi. He's another one of these fighters that's taken himself out of the UK, based himself abroad, and really taken himself away from his home comforts. We're seeing Hamzah Sheeraz is also on this show, another fighter that has done that. Sometimes these fighters enjoy getting comfortable being uncomfortable. One of those things, Andy.
Absolutely. He seems a bit tetchy this week, Buatsi, and I like it.
Saturday in a scheduled 12-round contest, and it will be for the vacant WBC interim heavyweight championship of the world. We will first welcome from Bochum, Germany, undefeated with 25 wins, 17 of those 25 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the undefeated former two-time EBU European champion and the #1 ranked contender by the WBC. Here is Agit Kabayel.
Well, here's a two-time former European heavyweight champion, and he has all the intention in the world to become a full world heavyweight champion. Agit Kabayel makes his way to the ring. He is gloved up. which suggests we may get more than just a wave and a bow to the cameras. Looks like we may actually get something from Agit.
Well, the fighters we're most likely to see something from are the heavyweights, obviously, because they don't have to make any weight. They probably trained already today, but given that they've shown up for this, then they might fancy doing a little bit, and it looks like he will. He's another fighter who has just gleefully ripped up scripts every time he's shown up, because first off, he was in with Arslan Makhmudov, and there was a real vibe about him. There was a lot of chat about him, this big glowering monster from Canada who was going to just put people to sleep, and he beat him pretty comprehensively. And then he was in with Frank Sanchez, totally different kind of challenge, who had top 5 rankings, I think, with all 4 sanctioning bodies, Cuban fighter who no one wanted to fight, basically after he ran rings around F.A. Jagba on the undercard of Fury Wilder 3, and he beat him, and he stopped him. So again, you know, you talk about winner stays on and being here on merit, and he's another one, isn't he?
He definitely is that. There's a feeling that if Daniel Dubois against Joe Parker is number 2 versus number 3 in the world, Kabayel against Zhang is number 4 versus number 5. It's the best heavyweights in the world outside of Alexander Usyk, and you've got to take Tyson Fury out because he's now retired. It's a great show, and this is a brilliant fight.
Yeah, look, if you look at Fury, Joshua, Usyk, they're at the end now. I mean, Fury's announced at the time, but even Usyk and Joshua, they're on their last legs, I would imagine. And you look at the guys coming behind them, Daniel Dubois, this guy is certainly among them, one of the top heavyweights on a real roll. Zhang dangerous, but I make this guy the favourite.
It's a fantastic fight. Ezra, just before we let you go, let me get your kind of Beterbiev Bivol. What are you thinking for this one, for the main event on Saturday?
I feel like Beterbiev is going to do it again, man. I feel like once you have that confidence, you can do it over 12 rounds at that pace. Personally, I just feel like it's going to be improvement from that performance. I want Bivol to win. I'm a Bivol fan, but also I'm a Beterbiev fan, and I'm a very realistic person at that as well, and I feel like he's just going to have it in the bag.
Good to see you, Ezra. Best of luck in your next fight. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Ezra the Cannon Taylor. Agit Kabayel, as Chris Mannix just makes his way over to him. Let's hear from him.
Gloves taken off. The guys up there were saying that, you know, you've been pretty much one of the most underrated heavyweights over the last few years. Do you think in your last couple of fights, you're finally getting a chance to show people what you can do?
Yes, of course. You know, the people say this, I know, but Saturday, another big test wait for me. I'm ready. We will see on Saturday, you know.
It is a big test, no question about that. A very big man in Jilei Zhang. You've beaten big guys before, but what's it going to take to beat this man on Saturday?
We'll see, you know, I give not prediction. You know, he's a great opponent. He fight with a big name in his career. I'm respect him not. But Saturday, Chinese power fight with the Kurdish power.
Last time we saw you in the ring with a 6'6" fighter, you knocked out Makhmudov. Do you think you could knock out Jilei Zhang?
Inshallah. We will see on Saturday.
Good luck, Agit.
Thank you.
I like that. Chinese power versus Kurdish power on Saturday night. And he doesn't like giving predictions. He doesn't like trash talk. He's a very nice man, is Agit Kabayel.
He is, but he knows exactly what he can do. And I remember talking to Fraser Clark about him. He'd been in camp with him before his last fight, and he said that he's the best combination puncher he's come up against as a heavyweight. He's busy. He lets plenty of punches go. He's got good rotation, good mechanics. He knows what he's about.
USA, by way of Shenzhou, China, a 2008 Olympic silver medalist, now with a professional record consisting of 27 wins, 2 defeats, 1 draw, 22 of those 27 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the former WBO interim world champion and the #2 ranked contender by the WBC. Here is Jilei Big Bang Zhang.
Kabayel, I'm ready. Saturday, I bang you. Not delay.
Absolutely fantastic. He's got his own entrance music. He is dancing. He is moving. Jilei Zhang is kind of becoming everyone's favourite heavyweight. He's great. And you look at some of the numbers that he does on social media, by the way. Not just his knockout clips. his clips, his messages to the camera in broken English. I'm not sure he knows what he's being told to say. I'm not sure he understands it, but he delivers it with so much gusto, you can't help but like it.
He's great because he's an intelligent guy, he's a smart guy, and he's very knowingly embracing this role of comedy pantomime villain almost. And there's something really entertaining about that in what is a very serious business. Boxing, when you think about what they're doing in there, particularly heavyweight, and the sacrifices and the hardship and all of that, it's far too serious to be too serious all of the time. You need people like him who just bring a bit of levity, a bit of light to fight week, because he's always up for a laugh. You started a lot of this, but he was willing to engage, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Not everybody is, and he was willing to engage. He's fun.
Listen, I was pleasantly surprised. The first time I met him was around the Joe Joyce fights. It was the first one. He came over. We had a chat via translator. I thought, I wonder if he'd like to say this. And he loved to say it. He's great. He's a great character. He's great fun. But he's also a very dangerous man, Matt.
Very dangerous. Huge fighter, big puncher, southpaw, very patient because he knows he can afford to be patient because he's got an equaliser. But I think Kabayel's busyness, activity might be a bit too much for Zhang at this stage.
Well, that's always the feeling around Jilei Zhang, is that he may get tired. He does get tired in fights. He got a bit tired against Joe Parker, and perhaps with a bit more activity, he'd have won that fight. He's going to have his work cut out on Saturday night against Agit Kabayel, who will go in there and set a pace. Let's hear from the Big Bang.
Just a few days away, by the way, still the best theme song of anyone walking out here. How are you feeling going into this fight?
这还是最好听的主题歌之一啊！你今天感觉怎么样？
哎，我发现，然后给我创作了好多我的主题曲，我很喜欢。
Whoever created these songs, I love you.
Your relationship with your trainer, Sean George, goes back to your days in the amateur ranks. Your career as a pro has really taken off since he's become your full-time trainer. What has he brought to you? What's made a difference?
你跟老肖是从业余时期就一直到职业时期，那最近他这么几年的时间，给你带来了什么变化呢？
带来很多变化，带来了现在有时候约比赛都约不上，然后很多人都逼战我，然后前2天我还告诉他，我说你把我练得太强大了，然后都不愿意和我打。
Well, I blame him for making me the most avoidable fighter in the division, but I love him.
We saw you look kind of not so great against Joseph Parker, and then you looked brilliant against Deontay Wilder. What Jilei Zhang can we expect on Saturday?
跟帕克的这一场呢，打的可能很多人觉得不是特别好，跟维尔德打的特别好。这周6会有什么样的表现？
比打维尔德更好。
Way better than when I was fighting Wilder.
Good luck, Jilei.
Thank you.
The Big Bang, he gave a shout out to whoever created the song. That is DJ Majestic, who blew Zhang a kiss from the shadows here.
Our next two fighters competing this Saturday in a scheduled 12-round contest. It will be for the WBC Interim Super Welterweight Championship of the World. Let's first welcome the challenger from Khiva, Uzbekistan, a stellar amateur with over 300 victories. He now has a professional record of 10 wins, just 1 defeat, 1 draw, 7 of those 10 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the former WBA Super Welterweight Champion of the World, Israil, the Dream Madrimov.
Well, here comes Israil, the Dream Madrimov. So much talent on this show on Saturday night, and Madrimov very much fits the bill. An elite talent making his way, of course, takes on Vergil Ortiz on Saturday. WBC Interim Super Welterweight Championship will be on the line. And I'm delighted to have with us, well, I mean, I hope this stage here has been reinforced because the Big Bang is in town, joined by Sean George, his trainer, and joined by Kurt Lee as well. Great to see you, gentlemen. How are we?
Pretty good. We're pretty good over here. Are we ready for Saturday night?
Listen, this fight is tremendous against Kabayel. Kabayel has been taking people out with body shots. Are you wary of that, Jilei?
卡维尔都是以基辅拳获胜的，你担心他的基辅拳吗？
我不担心他的基辅拳，他的基辅拳在我这里毫无用处。
I'm not worrying about that. It won't work on me.
And why is that? Is that because you're too clever, too quick with your hands? You're going to counter him? Is that the plan?
为什么毫无用处？因为你想要迎击，还是你想要怎么样的？
因为他打我的腹，然后我就打他头，看哪个疼。
If it goes to my body, I go to his head. That's that simple. See what hurts more.
It's a fantastic fight, Sean. How's it been like preparing for Agit Kabayel, an unbeaten heavyweight who's on a bit of a tear at the moment?
Jilei been motivated. We want a world title shot, and he's in our way, so we're gonna go right through him.
Parker was a big challenge. How much has he improved since the Parker fight?
He's always been good. He just had a lapse. It wasn't his best performance, but I think that right now Jilei's locked in. This is going to be the best performance you see out of Jilei.
And Jilei, we saw you. You were dancing, you were moving, you enjoyed the music, didn't you?
今天感觉很快乐啊，也喜欢听这歌。
Yeah， 这是我的专属歌曲，非常好听。
Yeah, this became my theme music. I love it.
Best of luck to you on Saturday night. Great to see you, Zhilei.
Thank you.
Oh, look at that, the size of that man's hand. Let's head back over as Chris Mannix joins Israil Madrimov.
Israil, first off, you turned 30 years old this week. Happy birthday. How do you feel in a new decade of life?
Поздравляю тебя с днем рождения. Как ты чувствуешь себя с наступлением новой декады?
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Hey, I'm feeling great. You know, this month for me it's especially my birthday, my coach's birthday. You know, my brother's birthday because it's especially months and especially fight. Inshallah, I'm feeling great.
You fought a very competitive fight against Terence Crawford. What did you learn from that experience?
Что ты извлек из боя с Теренсом Кроуфордом?
I want show, inshallah, on Saturday, this plan.
You're fighting a young, very strong fighter in Vergil Ortiz. What kind of fight are you expecting?
Ты дерешься с очень молодым и агрессивным бойцом. Какой бой ты ожидаешь?
Interesting fight for me, my career, because you needed see this fight.
Good luck, Israil.
Thank you so much.
Is Israil Madrimov in good spirits? It's his birthday this month. He's smiling. He's happy. He's enjoying himself.
He is. You know, that was a good performance against Terence Crawford. You know, he got real physicality and very strong for the weight.
Grand Prairie, Texas, USA. He is undefeated with 22 wins. 21 of those 22 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the reigning and defending WBC interim super welterweight champion of the world, Vergil Ortiz Jr.
This is one of the two fights I think go the distance. Two main fights that go the distance. This and top of the bill. I think it's got skill, style, class written all over it, which is you'll see. This is pure action. I see Bernard Hopkins walking in. What about who's who in boxing? What a night!
Well, that's what happens here in Riyadh as we get closer and closer to fight night. The stars just start coming out, and of course Bernard Hopkins, part of Golden Boy, and Vergil Ortiz is one of Golden Boy's real Golden Boys right now. It's a terrific fight on Saturday.
It is, and he really needs this, I think, Ortiz as well, because that was a good win against Serhii Bohachuk. He touched down a couple of times, but he won the fight. It was clear enough to me watching it that he won what was a very good fight. We said yesterday he needed that seasoning at super welter after a couple of first round blowouts, because he is a very, very good fighter. And what happened to him around the weight making at welterweight, the problems that he had, and the subsequent diagnosis of rhabdomyolysis, which is a condition that I'd never heard of before, but that basically causes a breakdown of the muscles. It's mentally that must be a difficult thing to get over, because it's easy for us to think, okay, well, you just move up in weight, and it'll all be fine. But when something like that happens to you as an athlete, it would mess with your head. It really would.
And also, the opponents, they start getting bigger. You can't just go up in weight. The fellas up there are going to be bigger. Let's hear from Vergil Ortiz.
Well, Vergil, I know you've been waiting a long time for this opportunity to fight here in Riyadh. How are you feeling a couple of days out?
I'm very excited, man. I'm very motivated, and I'm ready to go, man. I'm ready to fight, you know.
You know, there are a lot of new rules being out here. It's not the same as in the U.S., including that midweek weight check. How are you feeling physically going into this fight?
I feel great. You know, it's ain't nothing but chicken wing, you know. So it's cool.
You know, with Sergey Bohachuk, you knew it was going to be a toe-to-toe fight from the very beginning. We've seen Madrimov fight a couple of different styles in some of his recent fights. What kind of fight are you expecting?
I'm expecting a chess match, but you know, exciting at the same time. You know, it's not going to be boring. It's going to be a fun one for the fans.
What do you think is the key to beating him?
Just being myself.
Good luck, Vergil.
Thank you.
I like the sound of that. An exciting chess match, Matt.
Yeah, look, Madrimov is physical, he's strong, but he's clever too, good boxer. So I think he will try and put it on Ortiz though, because I don't know if he outboxes Ortiz. I think at some point Madrimov will really have to try and take the fight to Ortiz.
I'll tell you what, I was thinking about this earlier. You got Vergil Ortiz, you got Artur Beterbiev, and you got Daniel Dubois. These are some of the heaviest hands in world boxing. Ortiz only been the distance once in his last fight. Beterbiev only been the distance once in his last fight. Daniel Dubois, all but one of his wins has come by knockout.
It's that kind of card. It's that kind of card. There's some serious firepower on display.
Let's head back over to Thomas Schreiber.
Middleweight Championship of the World. Let's first welcome the challenger from Ilford, Essex, England. He is undefeated with 21 wins, 17 of those 21 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the undefeated former EBU European, Commonwealth, and WBC silver champion, and the #1 ranked contender by the WBC. Let's welcome Hamzah Sheeraz.
Well, here comes Hamzah Sheeraz, who has taken it all in his stride this week. This is the biggest moment of his career on Saturday night. He is on a streak of 15 consecutive knockouts. He can't seem to put a foot wrong at the moment, and if he gets it right on Saturday, he will be the new WBC World Middleweight Champion.
I've bragged and I've boasted and shouted a lot about this young man, and I think he'll end up being a 3-weight world champion. Decide of him to say the middleweight, he'll go to super middle, he'll go to light heavy. He has absolute talent seeping out of his pores, and he's probably 25-40% of himself.
And let's not forget, he was down at super welterweight as well. It's unbelievable how he managed to even reach that on the scales. 6'4", Hamzah Sheeraz. Frank Warren has referred to him as a modern-day Thomas Hearns.
Yeah, and if we go, yeah, definitely Tommy Hearns. But if you go to the middleweight division in more recent times, Kelly Pavlik, not dissimilar, certainly in frame.
And he's done everything that's been asked of him so far. He had that one kind of blip against Bradley Skeet, a controversial ending to that fight. People ask plenty of questions after that, but as you say, the move up in weight seems crazy now that he was ever at 154 pounds. And I'm not sure he's going to be at 160 that one, to be honest with you, but long enough to win a world title if he can do it on Saturday.
He is absolutely huge, 25 years old. And he wants to become the WBC World Middleweight Champion. There hasn't been too many of those from the UK. I think Nigel Benn was the last one. Let's hear from Hamzah Sheeraz.
You've been asking for this opportunity for a few fights now. You finally get it. How are you feeling as we get a little bit closer?
Yeah, I'm feeling great, ready to go. Just soaking it all in.
Damas is an experienced guy in multiple weight classes. What's going to be the key for you to beating him?
Just staying disciplined, listening to Ricky. Like I said, doing what I do and just enjoying it as well.
Not sure if you caught what he said yesterday, but he said the plan on Saturday is to decapitate you. Your thoughts?
Good luck to him. Good luck to him.
Good luck to you, Hamzah.
Cheers, thank you.
Good to hear from Hamzah Sheeraz. Not giving an awful lot away, going through the motions a bit, but it's a big one on Saturday. A lot of these fighters conserving their energy
And now let's welcome the defending world champion from Elias Piña en la República Dominicana. He has a professional record of 24 wins, just 1 defeat. 18 of those 24 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the reigning and defending WBC middleweight champion of the world, Carlos El Caballo Bronco Adames.
Well, here comes Carlos Adames to the scenes of the fountain here in Boulevard City. He's carried himself with a certain meanness this week. I don't know if his comments are getting lost in translation, but what he has said are some very, very bad intentions for Hamzah Sheeraz.
I don't think they have been getting lost in translation. When he came in to talk to Sky on Monday, he was very disparaging about Sheeraz's opponents. And he basically has dismissed him, verbally at least, as an overhyped UK prospect, essentially. He said last night, didn't he, that he's going to be my next victim. I'm going to decapitate him. Yeah. You know, he's not playing. He's not playing. And I understand why, because he'll look at Hamzah and feel like, okay, you're a Riyadh season ambassador. I get it. You know, what everybody wants here is for you to win and take my title. You know, you've got something that you want, but guess what? I've got something I want to give you. And that's the way he's going into this, 100%, and I love it. I love the energy coming off him. I think this could be a hell of a fight between these two.
Yeah, I think so as well. Stylistically, it feels like it's just going to gel. Carlos Adames, a very physical fighter. He can be very rough and tough in there. And Andy, as you said, I mean, the script is all about Hamzah Sheeraz, and this being a crowning moment for a Riyadh season ambassador. And this man here, Carlos Adames, on your screens has probably read that script. He just don't care. He's here to defend his title and leave with it.
He's got his own script, and it's interesting what he said about Hamzah Sheeraz and about the level of the opposition. Now, Sheeraz has been brought along lovely, you know, maybe a little bit too lovely. You know, and if there's something that could be, maybe he hasn't picked up certain seasoning, but that's because of, you know, his ability as well. So, yeah.
We've boxed a couple of southpaws recently, of course, Hamzah Sheeraz, and been sparring and training for southpaws. Of course, Tyler Denny last time out. Before that, it was Austin Ammo Williams, and this is another southpaw test on Saturday.
He switches though, he does switch.
Oh, he can move about. Let's switch over to Chris Mannix.
Well, Carlos, you have come to Riyadh with a lot of confidence going into this fight. What makes you so confident that you can get the job done?
Viniste a Riyadh con mucha confianza. ¿Qué te da tanta confianza que tú vas a poder ganar este sábado?
Mi trabajo, mi dedicación en el gimnasio, mi forma de trabajar, mi equipo de trabajo, cómo me manejo dentro del ring, mi fortaleza, todo es un complemento.
My work ethic, my team, my hard work, my ability inside the ring, and my whole camp process.
We haven't seen you in the ring since last June. How anxious have you been to get back into a fight?
No te hemos visto en el ring desde junio. ¿Cuánta ansiedad tú tienes para volver al ring?
Tengo mucha, me siento muy bien, me he preparado muy bien para esta pelea. Pienso que voy a dar la mejor versión de mí en esta pelea. Verán un nuevo Carlos Adames que se enfrenta a todo tipo de retos. Pienso que me siento muy bien.
I'm very anxious to get back. I think you will see a different Carlos Adames. I think you will see a great one, too.
That's a big man in Hamzah. What's the key to chopping him down?
Es un hombre alto, Sheeraz. ¿Cuál es la idea principal para poder ganarle?
Los cocos son más altos y los tumbamos. Pienso que a él lo voy a tumbar también.
Coconuts in coconut trees are higher, and we can still take them down.
Good luck, Carlos.
Thank you.
Decent little analogy there from Carlos Adames. Not as much menace as there was yesterday. He's talking about coconut trees, whereas yesterday, as you mentioned, Andy, he was talking about decapitating Hamzah. But I'm looking forward to seeing what he has to say at the press conference tomorrow. Will it be venomous or not?
Fighter competing this Saturday in a scheduled 12-round contest, and it will be for the WBC Lightweight Championship of the World. he will be taking on the challenger, Josh Padley. Let's welcome the defending champion, fighting out of Brick City, Newark, New Jersey, USA, a 2016 Olympic silver medalist, now undefeated as a professional with 22 wins, 10 of those 22 wins coming by way of knockout. He is a 3-weight world champion and the reigning and defending WBC lightweight champion of the world, Shakur Stevenson.
Well, Shakur Stevenson has had quite the 24 hours. He was preparing to take Floyd Schofield on Saturday night. That's who he thought he'd be fighting. A late change means he's now taking on Josh Padley. I'm not sure where his head's going to be at. He'll fancy himself, of course, to beat Josh Padley, of course, but it's never ideal, is it?
I think Shakur Stevenson fancies himself to beat anyone in the world in any weight division. He's full of confidence, and why wouldn't you be when you're as good as he is? But yeah, it's never. I suppose the biggest thing he's got to watch out for is that he doesn't overlook Josh Padley now, because he's still got to go in there and get the job done, and he doesn't want to sort of take his eye off the ball.
That's true, but he does also need to, I think, really put on a show. He was looking to do that when the opponent was Schofield, but I think now the pressure will be on him even more to do it now that Josh Padley's come in as a late replacement. People will expect him to dispatch Josh Padley and not take too long about it and do it in pretty comprehensive, eye-catching fashion, and that brings its own kind of pressure, because he's been criticised quite a lot, really, for somebody who's a 3-weight world champion. People are quick to get on his case and say, look, you know, that's great, but you're not the most entertaining. You want to be this and you want to be that. We need a highlight reel knockout. We need more. That's what people are saying. So the change of opponent, Johnny, is it's difficult for him in a way, or could be.
And the opportunity is there to salvage the opportunity to showcase Stevenson. So at least he's still on the bill. He's still in action. Great opportunity for Doncaster's Josh Padley, but you know we know where the cards are laid.
Shakur, you just can't escape the drama, can you? What have the last 24 hours been like?
It's been fun. I mean, I love the show. I love everything about this. I'm still on the card. The show must go on, so I'm ready to put on the show.
You actually predicted that Floyd Schofield would not make it to this fight. How did you feel when you found out he had pulled out?
I was already kind of expecting it. I knew the kid was scared from the start. I knew he was scared from the jump. When I seen him, he was definitely scared, so I think he a punk.
When they brought the name Josh Padley to you, what was your immediate response?
Yes, I mean, I watched one round. I'm in shape. I mean, they could have sent anybody. They could have said, Lomachenko, let's fight. I'd have said, let's do it, so.
You say you don't watch a lot of film on your opponents, so you just going in there trying to do you?
I mean, I know me at my best could beat anybody at their best, so I'm the best in boxing, and I'm going to show y'all Saturday night.
Good luck, Shakur.
Thank you.
Well, there is a man who oozes confidence, and of course he has every right to have that confidence. Former 3-weight world champion, Olympic silver medalist as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, our co-main event this Saturday is scheduled for 12 rounds, and it'll be for the IBF Heavyweight Championship of the World. Let's first welcome the challenger. From South Auckland, New Zealand, he has a professional record of 35 wins, 3 defeats, 23 wins, coming by way of knockout. He is the former WBO heavyweight champion of the world, Lupe Soliai, La'auli Ale Maliatoa, a.k.a. Joseph Parker.
Well, here comes Joseph Parker making his way to the ring, and he's brought a few with him. There are screams here just around the workout ring. Former WBO world heavyweight champion, has that ambition, wants to become a 2-time world champion, and fancies his chances against Daniel Dubois. Just thinks he's got too much for him, and I think we're going to get 5 minutes out of him, just like Kabayel. Parker has gloved up, he's brought a few with him. I'm expecting a bit of a show.
Hopefully. Be interesting, wouldn't it? Andy Lee basically confirmed yesterday that he will be coming in a career heaviest. The target has been 120 kilos, which is 18 stone 12, which is about 9 pounds heavier than he's been at his heaviest previously. And it's muscle that's gone on him. It's been a long process. And they've really thought hard about things in this new phase of his career in all aspects, the S&C, the nutrition, the planning of camps around family and all that kind of stuff. And it looks like he's reaping the benefits because I think he's happy with every single aspect of preparation currently. He feels like he's in the best possible place to succeed. He's giving himself every chance.
Yeah, that is the feeling around Joe Parker, that every time we see him, he just looks happy. He looks content. He looks in a good place in his life. We haven't seen him in the ring since March 2024. So it'll be almost a year when he sets foot in the ring on Saturday night. But he's been working on himself. Whilst there may be some ring rust, he's been in the gym, he's been training, he's been putting on some muscle.
Yeah, and maybe he wouldn't have been able to put on that muscle had he been active with fights, because you're preparing for fights, you can't bulk up as much because you're doing more cardio, etc. So maybe it's all happened for a reason for him.
You feel like as a heavyweight he's always had the basic minerals for it, because he's from that Samoan heritage and physically he has their kind of traditional attributes. You know, he's kind of big boned.
Yeah.
There's that natural musculature there. And
big legs,
big backside, and that's really good for a heavyweight because that's where the real power comes from, not just to throw a shot but to hold one. And I think the extra weight, I think it is twofold, because he's got to hurt Dubois if he's going to win this fight. He has to, because Dubois will just keep coming like the Terminator, and if you don't do something serious to stop him, that's what will happen. That you know, it's a small place, that ring.
Yeah.
He's going to have to pick his moments, but he's got to hurt him. But you know, he's going to get hit too. So that extra weight will help him, I think, hold the shot. You know, it's a fascinating fight. This, it really is.
Yeah, as you say, he'll have to hurt him and hurt him early, because Daniel Dubois is going to be all over him. He only knows one way, does Dubois. But this Joe Parker that we're looking at, it feels like he's a completely different fighter to what he was when he became world champion. That was so many years ago now. Look at him now.
Looks heavier, heavy-footed, stands still, more, plants his feet more, and maybe he's just adjusted that, tweaked it for this particular fight. But you can tell, most fighters that have turned up tonight have done as little as possible. He'll give us our 5 minutes of speculation. But you know what? That shows how serious he is. He just wants to get the job done. Every opportunity he can do to improve himself, to prepare himself for Saturday night, he's going to do it. Because realistically, he's actually working on a couple of things here. He could have tapped and moved, tapped and danced, shadow boxed and did nothing, but he's actually working on things.
Yeah, I think he is. I think Andy's got a little GoPro on, hasn't he, Andy Lee? So they're probably even filming this and having a look at it later on. It's that kind of attention to detail that you can see really when they do their fly on the wall stuff that they've been dropping on YouTube. You see what they want you to see, but they do show you a lot. You know, it's fairly open, because I think they're just so happy with the way that they've got the setup.
Yeah, he's terrific across social media, is Joe Parker. He's got those fly-on-the-wall documentaries that you mentioned, Andy, and who can forget the music videos that he's been making? I mean, he kept a lot of us sane during lockdown. It was like a new video every day. And then the call-outs. I don't think he's done one of Daniel Dubois, but he called out Dillian Whyte with a wonderful version of Back for Good by Take That. Him and his pals all together, sat around a car, miming, or at least I think they were miming. Maybe Joe Parker's got a hidden talent of being a great singer too. He's certainly a very talented man, and I'm looking forward to hearing from him. I think Chris Mannix is poised and ready. Let's hear from Big Joe Parker.
Well, Joe, I don't think too many people here in Riyadh have been as happy as you to be here. You've been smiling all week long. How are you feeling a couple of days before this fight?
You know what? I actually feel fantastic. I've done all the work, and I'm well prepared, and I just want to go in there and put on a great display. But I'm very happy, and I'm excited, but I'm saving it all for fight night.
So you work in the pads there for a couple of minutes with Andy Lee. You've talked a lot about what he's meant for you in your career. What has he brought to you that's been different?
It's taken me a while to understand what he's been trying to teach me, but it's come at the right time. The last few fights I've had, I've been able to show we'll be working on, and on a show again on Saturday night.
You've dealt with the power of Jilei Zhang, of Deontay Wilder. How different do you think the power of Daniel Dubois is going to be?
Listen, Daniel Dubois hits very hard. Bring it on.
Good luck, Joe.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what, I love that. Daniel Dubois hits very hard. Bring it on. That is a Joe Parker who is ready, in his view, to become a two-time world heavyweight champion on Saturday night.
Absolutely, he's been doing this a long time. He knows the realities of it. It's heavyweight boxing. Dubois is a machine. He will keep coming forward, and there's no way that you're going to win a fight like this without wearing some leather. That's just what's going to happen, and you have to be up for the challenge. You don't want it to happen, but you have to be prepared for it happening.
Champion from Greenwich, London, England. His professional record: 22 wins, 2 defeats. 21 of his 22 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the hard-hitting, reigning, and defending IBF heavyweight champion of the world, Triple D, Daniel Dynamite Dubois.
Yo, hear me now, rude boy and rude gal. Joseph Parker, you know, say you're in a world of trouble when you want to test the champion. Daniel, oh Daniel, Triple D Dynamite Dubois. It's Daniel, oh it's Daniel, Triple D, the heavyweight champion of the world.
Well, here comes Daniel Dynamite Dubois with his own customised music. I've been saying all week, this is a man who is getting more media savvy. He understands it, more commercially savvy. He's got his own ring tune now, Matt.
And I love it, what a tune. Yeah. He's really, I think he's just growing into becoming a champion, you know. You can see he's walking with a newfound confidence for sure.
And that was an ear-to-ear smile from Daniel Dubois. I think he's been fairly relaxed this week, you know. There's a few things that he doesn't want to do. He doesn't particularly like doing those little social media games that all the broadcasters and promoters get them to do. It's not really his thing.
He wasn't having any of that, was he? In our room anyway on Monday, he was having absolutely none of it. But that's fair enough. You know, it's not his bag. He doesn't want to engage with it. But that performance at Wembley was massive. It was huge. I thought he looked good all week, actually. People were looking for signs of nerves and tension. I didn't really feel like they were there. This is a guy who zones in and locks on naturally in a way that other people I don't think are really able to do. Now he's found that self-belief. He's a dangerous man.
Well, delighted to be joined by Mr. Andy Lee, who has been plotting the demise of Daniel Dubois. How are you feeling? Not too long to go now.
No.
You had a little look at Daniel Dubois there?
Yeah. He's not going to do anything, is he? He's not training. I like the song though. The song's good. I really like the song. Yeah.
Well, listen, he's grown in confidence. He's got his own song now. It feels like he's a completely different guy. But you guys are very confident. You get the job done on Saturday.
We have to be confident. We believe in the work we're doing. It's an extremely hard fight. It's a 50-50 fight. It's a world heavyweight title, but we're in full of confidence. We're in great mood.
Well,
And
Daniel, just days away from defending that heavyweight title of yours. How are you feeling going into this fight?
I'm feeling confident, ready to go now. It's fight time, let's go.
I was asking Joseph Parker about the impact that Andy Lee has made on him. You've had Don Charles in your corner now for several fights, done a great job with you. What kind of impact has he made as your trainer?
I think it's been a team effort, not just Don, my dad, and everyone that's around the team. They're just all working together, and it's powerful.
Joseph Parker was just up there, very complimentary of you and your skills. What do you think of Joseph Parker?
I'm just ready to fight on Saturday. Let's go. Let's go, man.
How important is it for you to defend this heavyweight title?
Really important, you know, the step to greatness, really. So, yeah, I'm ready.
Good luck, Daniel.
Thank you. God bless.
Well, delighted to have Andy, a couple of Andys actually with me now as well. It's just dawned on me. Look at this.
Andy Clark's over there.
Couple of Andy men and Andy Clark.
Andy Scott, Sorry, Andy. That's every time I do
He's
it.
the latest. He's the latest in a long line of people to confuse us.
Everyone does that. Listen, tell me this. It's been a while since we've seen Joe Parker in the ring, right? It will be almost a year on Saturday. But it feels like that's actually been a good thing. He's gone away and worked on stuff, right?
Listen, everything happens for a reason. and I believe that with Joseph. I think there's someone looking down on him and protecting him. And although he wanted to fight, he was forced to rest, and it has been a rest. You know what I mean? Who knows what shape he'd be in had he fought injuries and X, Y, and Z. And like, we don't know. We don't know what injuries Dubois might be carrying after all the activity he's had. These are big men, you know, and to move that weight and to have that much sparring and impact on your body all the time can be a little bit of burnout. So we wanted to fight. Joe was ready to fight at any time, but we were forced to rest, and could be a blessing in disguise.
Could well be. Let's head back over to Thomas Treiber.
Ladies and gentlemen, our highly anticipated main event is a rematch scheduled for 12 rounds, and it will be for the undisputed light heavyweight championship of the world. Let's first welcome the challenger. His professional record, 23 wins, just 1 defeat, 12 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the former unified light heavyweight champion of the world, Dmitry Bivol.
No, we're gonna go. We're gonna go. Sorry.
Well, here comes Dmitry Bivol, introduced there as the challenger, and it's been a real while since he's been a challenger, has Dmitry Bivol.
It absolutely has. Joseph Parker has joined us up here, and he's got to get away because it's quite cold. Andy wants him to get away. I totally understand. I've been addicted to your YouTube episodes that you've been dropping during the course of camp. It's been great insight. The attention to detail in this second phase of your career, as you describe it, around S&C nutrition, the boxing coaching, but also the structure of camp and the family visiting, everything. You just seem like you've got it all down.
I feel like I do. The work I've done with Andy and George, and like everything coming together, and I'm finding I've found that balance in life and in boxing and in training and in camp. And when you find that balance, everything is like, I'm a happy fighter, which makes me a dangerous fighter. And I've been happy all week because I'm calm and I'm relaxed, and all the work's been done. There's nothing more I could have done. Like, I've ticked all the boxes, done everything right, and now it's just time to put it all on display and go out there and give it my best.
Bigger, stronger, knockout win on Saturday for Joe Parker.
That's the plan. Bigger, faster, stronger, better looking.
You look good. Best of luck to you, Joe.
Thank you, Dave.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
I rate that. I rate that. Listen, I think he has got better looking, by the way, Andy. The beard, he's got the beard game strong as well. A few more wrinkles than he used to have back in the day. Are you with me on this, Andy?
No, 100%. He's got that kind of Leonidas Spartan thing going on, isn't it? Gerard Butler, you know what? That's a big compliment, isn't it? He's gone. He didn't hear it. That's a shame. But it's great watching these elite athletes at work and getting that inside the fly on the wall stuff that he's given us is great. We don't get exactly the same kind of thing from Bivol, but I have seen some. He's been training out in Turkey, and you see some of the things he's been doing. They're not reinventing the wheel, Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev, and nor somebody like Joseph Parker. One of the things that's always fascinated me about boxing is that, okay, S&C has developed, nutrition has developed, but Matt, when it comes to the basics of it, the kit that you find in the gym now is the kit that you found in the gym 100 years ago. The basics of boxing are the same, and they always will be the same. And as I said, these two at the top of the bill, they know that. It's about drilling, it's about repetition. Some people find that boring, other people love it.
No, look, S&C is great in the sense that it makes you fitter, faster, stronger. But in terms of tactics and technique and things that work in boxing are the same things that always worked in boxing. Like you say, you can't reinvent the wheel.
I'll tell you what, Dmitry Bivol looks very, very calm and relaxed. Gave us a little something there, showed us that Soviet style. Let's hear from him.
Well, Dmitry, it's been a long time since you were introduced as a title challenger. How are you feeling going into this fight?
It's something new again. Challenger, it's new, fresh feelings. I like it.
You went 12 hard rounds with Artur Beterbiev a few months ago. What did you learn from that experience?
I learned that I don't like to lose, and I want to win.
You've said this week that the biggest adjustment you have to make is to throw more punches. Does that mean you'll be taking more chances in the ring?
Yeah, of course. Not only more punches, more movements, more better speed, more heavier punches.
felt his power for 12 rounds. Does that make you more prepared for it the next time around?
It's not about to prepare against the power. It's more about to make yourself better and to be ready for all situations in the ring.
Do you think this fight will look a lot like the first fight, or are you expecting a very different one?
I'm so excited, like all of boxing fans, how it will be. This is why it's so interesting, I think.
Good luck, Dmitry.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what, it sounds like Dmitry Bivol shares our excitement about Saturday night. He's excited on behalf of boxing fans.
And that's just great to hear, because this is the elite end of the sport, and you want these guys to have that kind of attitude to it, and they both do.
And now let's welcome the defending champion. He is a two-time Olympian, now undefeated as a professional with 21 wins. 20 of his 21 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the hard-hitting Ring Magazine champion and the reigning and defending undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world, Artur Beterbiev.
Well, here comes the enigmatic, heavy-handed Chechen monster. The undisputed world light heavyweight champion, Artur Beterbiev, hasn't given much away this week in terms of his answers. Sometimes they're one word, sometimes they're two. His two favourite ones are "we'll see." I can't imagine Chris Mannix will get an awful lot out of him in the interview, but where we do get so much out of him is when that first bell rings and it is non-stop pressure.
Yeah, constantly exerting pressure on his opponents because he carries that power as well, the nervous energy, the tension, the concentration factor. You know, and I was so impressed with how Bivol actually coped with that, you know, but he did come on strong at the end, and I'd imagine in this fight he may even try that final push a little bit earlier.
It was rounds 10, 11 and 12 in the first fight that he was really in the ascendancy, and it just felt like Bivol was flagging a little bit, and maybe those championship rounds won him the fight last time.
I think they did. I think that's exactly what happened. He came on really, really strong towards the end, and he needed to. He needed to. His corner were telling him that he needed to. And at the end of the fight, they were unsure, as we all were, which way it was going to go. They maybe felt that he started to get to him or picked it up a little bit too late, but it's a really interesting measuring stick that for him, pacing that 12 rounds, because he's massively experienced, but he'd never done it. And when you always stop someone and the pressure has always got to them in the end, when you find yourself in there with somebody who is able to handle it better than anybody else has, how do you know when to really put your foot down? It's hard, isn't it?
It's very hard, and you've got to get it right, because you don't want to go too soon and then run out, have a good final push, but not get him, and then you've ran out of gas, and all of a sudden then Bivol, nicks it off you again.
Well, he is now 40 years old, but a tremendously fit man, completely lives the life. And this is the quickest turnaround of fights that he has had in 10 years. Only 4 months separate Beterbiev Bivol 1 and Beterbiev Bivol 2. Will that be an advantage for Beterbiev? Will it be a disadvantage? What do you think, Andy?
I think it's going to suit the pair of them absolutely fine, to be honest. I don't think that Beterbiev is still going to be feeling that first fight. It was really intense. It wasn't an absolute war, but very, very intense. Concentration levels had to be incredibly high. In terms of the physical nature of it, they both got themselves into incredible shape, and by the end of the 12 rounds they were pretty spent, but I think they'll have had a good amount of time to rest, recuperate and come again. And the oh wow, B-Hop, the executioner, Bernard Hopkins, is just sidling in next to us, which is absolutely tremendous.
Well, yes, we are watching a bit of a modern legend in Beterbiev in the ring. Delighted to have Bernard Hopkins, a real boxing legend, in our company. How are you, Bernard?
I'm fine. How are everybody? Everybody sound good, look good.
You look
excited,
good,
man. It's Saturday's blockbuster.
Tell me about this main event. You've had a lot of joy in this weight division. This is a special fight.
Look, this is a fight where Bivol wants to prove that he's still relevant and he's still the best at 175. Look, the light heavyweight division has always been a step to the cruiserweight, then some heavyweight, but this division is so, I guess, challenging to anybody fighting at 175 because you have a really exciting division that hasn't been like that since a long time. Holyfield, I can go back to Holyfield. I'm a Philadelphia guy. I can go back to Matthew Saad Muhammad, Marvin Johnson. The light heavyweight division has always been a sort of like the best kept secret division with guys that either went to heavyweight or cruiserweight.
But we were just talking about Beterbiev and how he's achieved longevity into his 40s. Nobody knows better than you how you go about doing that.
Well, he has to be himself and use all the skills that he have. I mean, both guys are really good, seasoned, know what they want to do. It's who do it the best. This is the type of fight where both guys are good at what they do. Whoever made the less mistakes will win.
Let's hear from Artur Beterbiev.
Well, Artur, here we are again. You and Dmitry Bivol, the undisputed light heavyweight championship, just a few days away. How are you feeling going into this fight?
I'm not bad.
Does it feel any different having experienced 12 rounds with Bivol the first time? You now have that experience to lean on?
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, a little bit different, but it's good. It's good experience.
You know, after that first fight, both you and your trainer, Mark Ramsey, said you can do a lot better the next time around. What can you do better?
Everything. Everything. I will try to do everything better.
Are you expecting a different version of Dmitry Bivol?
Maybe. Maybe, we'll see.
You got off to a little bit of a slow start in that fight. You've gotten off to slow starts at different times during your career. Is it important to you in this fight to get off to a faster start?
You know, we'll see. Like, we never know how it's going.
Good luck on Saturday, Artur.
Thank you.